Okie dokie. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher,
Here.
Council members Achara,
Here.
Kaplan, and Talarico.
Here.
Can we please stand and do a pledge of allegiance and remain standing and do a silent prayer? Fisher, find a flag.
Here, we'll hold one up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under
God,
individual.
liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. I'd like to do a moment of silence in memory of Marge Edelson, who we are doing a St. Patrick's Day celebration this evening for Marge. You may be seated. Or whatever you're doing right now as we're doing this online. Not a big fan of the online stuff, but here we are. We have to get this meeting in. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, posted in Town Hall, and filed with the municipal clerk on March 9th, 2026. We have individual action, which is B1, approving the introduction of the 2026 municipal budget. Can someone please offer?
I'll make a motion to introduce the 2026 municipal budget.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Talarico,
Yes.
and Napolitani.
Yes. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions and understand resolutions that appear on this agenda. One quick statement before I open it up for public comment. There has been some questions in regard to the overlay zone. We have our professionals on here, Mary Beth Lonigan, that's going to answer most of those questions today. I just want to preface this by stating that there is an overlay zone in the English Manor area, and I can assure you that there has been nothing in the municipality brought to us or from English Manor that they are looking to redevelop any of their property at this point. Quite the contrary, they just spent a fortune renovating it, which they will be having probably a ribbon cutting at some point, and it's absolutely magnificent. So there has been nothing on the table for an affordable project over there. I just wanted to open up the meeting with that. And now what I'll do is open it up for public questions. Jesse, just please let us know, if there's people on there. Understand we have a limit, and we will open the questions now.
For the resolutions only.
For the resolutions only, yes.
Does anybody? Oh,
Got something?
yes. Mike, you want to
Okay.
unmute yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you, Mayor Napolitani and board. I appreciate
Hey, Michael, how are you, bud?
I'm good.
Good.
I was sort of chosen as the duly appointed representative for the entire residents of the Dorset Road.
Mike, may I just interrupt you? This isn't about the resolutions right now. This is just
Okay.
the ordinance, rather. It's just about the resolutions. The ordinances will be
Okay,
set.
great. Then I'll be back on later. Thank
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else want to be heard on the resolutions?
Yes. John Waldron.
Okay.
John.
Hi, John.
Hi. I'm not sure, but I just want to clarify. Is this regard the resolution is what?
Is different than the ordinances. The resolutions were just.
The ordinances are what we as residents received in the mail.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So
Exactly.
everything has to wait for that.
Yes.
I have to wait for that.
We'll
Okay.
have time for question
I
and
see.
answers on the adoption of the ordinances.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, sir. Anyone else wishing to be heard on any of the resolutions on the agenda? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda of the resolutions?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
Talarico,
Yes for 056 and yes for 057, no for 058.
okay, thank you. And Naplatani.
Yes. Ordinances up for adoption in ordinance 2535, which is an ordinance to repeal and replace ordinance 21-9A, affordable housing redevelopment fees, and section 21-B, affordable housing. Can someone please open up public comment on ordinance 2535?
I'd like to make a motion to open up public comment on ordinance 2535.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
Talarico,
Yes.
and Naplatani.
Yes. Anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 2535, please state your name and address for the record. You have 5 minutes.
John, Mike, this might be your shot.
No, this is the one, they want 2538, Rob.
Got it. Very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2535?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public comment on ordinance 2535.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
Talarico,
I have just a quick question. I don't know if the attorney's on, but can I vote yes just for the 20% of the affordable housing units and no for the other 80%?
I'm not sure I understand the question. The ordinance itself is not just about what the set-asides are, it's how the entirety of the affordable housing process is governed. It's a repeal and replace to reflect the new regulations that were adopted by the state as part of the round 4 updates. They were just adopted in December. And the set-asides in there don't prohibit the opportunity for 100% affordable projects if you're opposed to having the 80% market rates that go with a project.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be something that could also be site specific, but it's not something that you could break up in the voting on the ordinance.
In the ordinance. Okay. So no for me. Thank you.
Wait, you're voting no to close public comment?
No, I'm voting no for the adoption. I'm sorry.
We
We're not-
didn't have to take action yet.
Now we're
Oh,
just
okay. I
closing.
apologize. Yes for closing the public comment. I apologize.
Yeah, because we
Okay.
definitely want to close the public comment.
Yep.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and Naplatani.
Yes.
Okay.
Action on ordinance 2535.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2535 and publish according to law.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
and Talarico,
No.
and Naplatani.
Yes.
Okay.
Ordinance 2535 passes. Ordinance 2538, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21, the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, Article 4, Zoning Provisions, Section 21-17, Establishment of Zones, Section 21-18, Official Tax Map. Can someone please open public discussion on ordinance 2538?
I'd like to make a motion to open public discussion on ordinance 2538.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
Talarico,
Yes.
and Naplatani.
Yes. Anyone wishing to speak on
now it's
ordinance? Anyone wishing to speak
Yeah.
on ordinance 2538? Please state your name and address for the record. You have a 5-minute limit.
Right, thank you, Mayor Napolitani. Michael
Yes, sir.
Procopio, 21 Dorset Road. I'm speaking on behalf of the entire Dorset Road community. We met as a thing. I can read the entire list into the record if you would like, but that would probably take up a good portion of my 5
Mike,
minutes.
you're fine.
Okay.
It's good. As long as
Yeah.
we have one representative,
Yep.
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, great. Thank you, first of all, for letting us know about the lack of any potential development given what English Manor is doing. That being said, we still have a number of concerns that would come with the creation of that overlay zone as it pertains to any future development should English Manor decide to sell or develop. Again, that a lot of this will probably take more than my allotted 5 minutes of time. I would like to present these to the board because these concerns are around ensuring infrastructure and safety considerations for the existing Dorset Road English Manor neighborhood, making sure all of that is fully evaluated before any potential development in 5, 10, 15, 20 years is under effect. Things as it refers to emergency access, flooding, stormwater management, building height density. We have a very long list of questions, situations, concerns, and key questions that surround that. Obviously, we had a specific plan, but given the limitations, we can't enact that. So how would we bring that to the board as far as enacting of this ordinance goes?
Okay, Mike, you want to just ask all your questions, and then we have our attorneys on here this week and get it all out, and then this way we're set. You know what I mean?
Sure. One of the biggest ones is that a large section of the overlay zone, as it was mapped out, is in a FEMA AE designated flood zone. The unnamed road and that entire grass area up to that street is part of a flood zone. Logan Road between 1115 and 1113 frequently floods during storms, as well as English Manor's drain. And any potential development that could come from this zone would seem to only exacerbate that specific problem. We also did have a sinkhole that was just fixed over by the bridge on Logan Road. And we have concerns that would also end up being weakened by any potential development. The existing streets that we have are very narrow. Emergency access can often be blocked because of deliveries to English Manor. We would like an evaluation of any emergency vehicle access and turning radii. The stormwater management any development obviously increases impervious surfaces and runoff. Will the township require any kind of comprehensive stormwater management plan to evaluate downstream impacts? Will drainage calculations be independently reviewed? Just general safety. There is currently no safe access for the Dorset Road area to get out to Logan Road. There's a blind curve on Logan Road leading to the eventual sidewalk. Children bike on that street. We walk on that street. That's the only way that we can get there. Increased density from any potential development would increase pedestrian and bicycle traffic. And if that unnamed street were eventually eliminated, the bus pickup and turning area where the children currently have their bus stop would be affected. We'd like to know if the township would consider adding sidewalks or pedestrian improvements along that small stretch of Logan Road. Let me see, what else do I have here? The current parking situation between English Manor and the overflow from the funeral home across the street turns English Lane and the unnamed road effectively into one-way streets and one lane. The ordinance overlay zone proposes eliminating that unnamed street, which would eventually remove the existing parking supply. How would the township address this loss of off-street parking, off Logan Road parking, I should say, and that parking along English Lane? Have you evaluated the funeral home's overflow parking impacts? These are just some of the key ones. I can provide an entire list to the board. I don't want to chew up your entire meeting time, but
Michael, it's
there
fine.
are a lot that comes
Yeah.
with this.
So, Mike, what I can say, and I'm going to let our professionals, our attorney, answer, your questions. I think that they're thinking. I understand thinking ahead. I totally agree with you being concerned. Right now, again, like I said, there is nothing in front of the township. There is nothing from English Manor. There is nothing on the on the docket that's saying that they're going to sell and redevelop. All of your issues obviously would be addressed to the board, which would be the planning board at the time, if a development ever did come into play. Now I'm going to lob it over to Mary Beth and our professionals so that they can, answer this appropriately. Mary Beth, do you want to take this, or do we want, who else would take it? Is Mary Beth on?
Sure. Good afternoon,
Mary
Mayor.
Beth Lonigan. Yes, thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. My name's Mary Beth Lonergan. I'm the Township's Affordable Housing Planner. I'm a partner at Clark Caton Hints, and we've been the Township's Affordable Housing Planner for about 20 years now. Just wanted to provide just a little background on these overlay zones. So this ordinance before you this afternoon includes not only the English Manor site, but also another site. The overlay zones, as the mayor had noted, there's a number of overlay zones throughout the township, and the overlay zoning is a requirement of the court-approved housing element and fair share plan, as well as a settlement agreement with Fair Share Housing Center. And these overlay zones, really, as the mayor noted, they are put in place. The underlying zoning remains, but and for the English Manor site, that underlying zoning is C3 commercial. So that underlying zoning remains in place. Overlay zoning, as I'm sure many of you are aware, is put in place to really potentially produce additional affordable housing as part of an inclusionary development, which is noted earlier. It's 80% market rate housing and 20% affordable housing. That's a real brief background. I wanted to be clear that this proposed English Manor overlay zone is approximately about 1 acre. It includes block 139, lot 1, and what we have shown as an unnamed street that I appreciate has overflow parking for English Manor and other businesses. The site does not include the English Manor owned lot. It's block 140, and I believe it's lot 65.02. That is not included as part of this overlay zone. I'd like to now, if I may, address the residents, your general concerns. As the mayor noted, the majority of your concerns would be fully detailed and addressed as part of the planning board, any type of future site plan application in front of the planning board. It is important to know that inclusionary zoning does not allow a developer to bypass DEP regulations. So any regulations for flood hazard, any stormwater control regulations, RSIS, residential site improvement, parking standards, emergency access, all of those issues are still in play and would have to be addressed by any developer or any development proposed for this site. To be clear, the site is approximately 1 acre. With the proposed zoning, if potentially anywhere from 10 to 12 total housing units are proposed on, if permitted, what you're looking at is you're looking at 20% of these units to be affordable. So if there's 10 total units, 8 market, 2 affordable. I'm going to stop there and ask if you'd like to ask any other specific questions beyond something that's more related to, would be more related to the planning board's review. The planning board engineer and the planning board planner would be going over the vast majority of the concerns as they're reviewing the development application.
Yeah, so Dan Coco here at 29 Dorset Road.
Excuse me just for 1 second. There's residents that can't get into the Zoom. Is there a phone number that they can
That's what I'm
call?
trying to see if I can find a phone.
It's on the website. I just checked. It's if you go to the website where it says special council meeting under Township News, the one tap mobile is there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Dan Coco, 29 Dorset Road. I do have a few additional questions. Question number one, heard a few times here that this is not going to happen. Well, the obvious question is, why is it being proposed in the first place? And were other sites considered before choosing this?
That's the only question, Dan?
Nope, there are multiple, but I
Go
just don't
ahead.
want to lose track of them.
Get them all out only because you have a limit, and this way Mary Beth can answer them.
Okay, so that's question number one. Question number two, you said approximately 1 acre. Can you confirm the exact acreage? Question number three, the ordinance allows for both 12.5 units per acre for townhomes and 15 units per acre for multifamily apartments. What is the intent or plan for development on this site? Is it townhomes or apartments, both? Which one? And what is the maximum unit count that the township anticipates? That was a multi-part question. Number three, the ordinance allows 45 feet and 3 levels of living space for the building height. That could be interpreted as a parking level at the ground level plus 3 additional heights above, or 3 additional floors above that. How will the township interpret that 45-foot height? Question or comment number four. A few times I heard the phrase overflow parking on the unnamed street. I would like to clarify that it is very frequently used as parking. It's not overflow. So literally any event that happens at the English Manor or the funeral home that is between Dorset Road and Route 35, that unnamed road is used as parking, not overflow. Question number five, about parking standards. English Manor overlay references township parking rules, while the other overlay references New Jersey residential site improvement standards. And parking requirements are often based on bedroom count per unit. Why are there different parking standards applied to the 2 overlay zones? Question number 6, is there a limit on the number of bedrooms per unit? Question number 7, will the parking requirements scale with the bedroom count? Question number 8, how many parking spaces are allotted per unit? Question number 9, how will the township specifically address the loss of existing street parking? Question number 10, will additional off-street parking be required beyond the minimum standards? Question number 10, has the township evaluated the funeral home specifically in its evaluation and consideration of this space for both its parking and apparent overflow parking? That's it.
Anything? Mary Beth, you can answer the questions, but like I said, there is no plan here, so we really can't address anything that's not in front of us. But Mary Beth, I'll lob it over to you.
Certainly. I've tried to take notes. Other sites. So other sites were reviewed, and to be clear, there are other overlay zoning sites, including the both golf courses. Deal is about 96 acres. Hollywood's about 180 acres. There's overlay zoning on both of those. Norwood Avenue has about a 14-acre overlay zone. The Herbert Avenue site is just a shade under 6 acres, and this is about 1 acre. There was overlay zoning in play on the Seaview Square Mall, but that had to be eliminated due to the existing ongoing remediation efforts at the site. The exact acreage is 1.03 acres, gross acres. Again, that is, we're looking at the unnamed street that would have to be vacated. That is included in that acreage. So if you know that acreage actually may be further defined as part of the actual rezoning, but we have called out a portion of that unnamed street. Which type of units? The ordinance is set up to allow either townhouses or apartment flats. The maximum unit count, it's not known. That would not be known until an engineer and developer look at, again, stormwater, on-site stormwater requirements, parking requirements, and so forth. So many of your questions would really still have to wait for any type of site plan developed for a future development. The 45-foot height, I will get back to you. I will work with the township's engineer to see as far as how the township planning board defines height. It was intended to be 3 floors. 3 stories, 45-foot height. I appreciate you're saying you are concerned if it would be 1 story of parking with 3 stories above. I don't have an interpretation for you. The parking standards, it's common throughout the township's current overlay zoning, as far as the parking standards rely on the RSIS requirements. There are RSIS requirements, as I'm sure you're aware of, parking per unit by bedroom count. There is no limit on bedrooms for the market housing, and there is a ratio of bedroom counts for the affordable units. A rough guide is typically developers provide 20% of the units as 1 bedrooms. 20% must be 3 bedrooms, and the balance are typically 2 bedrooms. I'd say the last 3 or 4 comments provided were really nitty-gritty site plan concerns for the planning board that really cannot be answered at this rezoning stage.
Okay. Thank you, and I appreciate your responses, and good job keeping track of everything I said, because I think you did a better job than I did even.
No problem.
I do have a follow-up question to your response to my first question about the why. And especially considering you mentioned multiple other sites with many acres available, and this little lonely parcel here of just over 1 acre. Why do you need it?
Yeah, so there was an amendment to the New Jersey Fair Housing Act that came into play 2 years ago, and there's very specific requirements for towns such as Ocean Township, where your community, you have a vacant land adjustment, and simply put, the state had assigned a much larger affordable housing obligation to the township. We prepared what's called a vacant land analysis, created a realistic development potential of what you could realistically address, and the balance of what you potentially could not address realistically in the township's housing element and fair share plan from last May, adopted in June. It's called unmet need. And the unmet need, again, is that this is really what we've been talking about, where these overlay zones are put into place to potentially provide an opportunity for future development to address this unmet need of affordable housing. What happened 2 years ago is that there's a very specific requirement for 25% of a town's unmet need to be addressed through the phrasing is realistic zoning. So it was important for the township to provide a calculation of how the town would be addressing this 25% requirement. And that is reflected in a settlement agreement that was entered into between the township and Fair Share Housing Center. Fair Share Housing Center is a statewide housing advocacy group, and they have held virtually every town, including Ocean Township, to meeting this requirement. So I'm sorry, that's a long answer, a long answer to come back to say, yes, this overlay zone is needed.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mary Beth.
I like.
Anybody else wishing
No,
to be
sorry.
heard? Dan,
I still got a
Dan,
window within my 5 minutes.
Yep, but Dan, I have to let other people, I asked you, before, I have to let other people speak now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still have some time within my five. I didn't speak for 5 minutes.
Dan, when I asked you if you had other questions, I asked you to lay them out for me. That's why.
No, those were all my questions, but Mary Beth used the phrase realistic zoning. I would like to express on behalf of all my neighbors, this area is unrealistic for the zoning opportunity. And I would like to reiterate and stress that, especially since it is just 1 acre that you are considering here, we encourage the board to explore any and all other opportunities for that realistic zoning opportunity, because this is not that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Anybody else wishing to be heard?
Yes, John Waldron.
Yes, John.
Okay.
John, name and address for the record,
John
please.
Waldron, 1207 Herbert Avenue.
Thank you.
Here in Ocean Township. And obviously, my overlay concerns are the Herbert Avenue whole possibility. I, first of all, just ask why. I mean, Wanamassa is a working neighborhood, a bunch of working people. And I ask why this meeting is at 3:00 when I personally had to take off of work for that, to be here and to find out. And a lot of people that work are not able to come to this, and it's kind of a difficult thing for all of us to express ourselves when this, at this early a meeting. But other questions are, obviously we're all on the same page. We're all worried about the impact in the future, and the One of the things specific to the Herbert Avenue area, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but where Roselle Avenue meets Herbert Avenue, that used to be a road, and it used to be back in the 60s a town dump, you know. So there's a lot of this was before regulations. Who knows? And it was used for many, many years as the town dump. And I know I just can't imagine disturbing that and creating some sort of toxic mess. That's one thing. Obviously, the water in this area is very difficult. It floods a great deal, and that has already been mentioned. And I think the whole area is subject to that kind of flooding. The street parallel to Herbert Avenue, Allenhurst Avenue, floods completely. It's very, very difficult area. And then to go and change by adding more buildings, taking away more trees, which we all know, as much as trees are being ripped down here in town, they're needed as giant sponges, if you will, taking a lot of that water away from, you know, flooding areas. And the other a lot of this was already covered. I did want to ask if there were, and it kind of has been covered perhaps, but I'll ask anyway, is there a specific plan for this particular overlay area? You know, has this been further? Well, is there a plan for anything right now for this area? Are there thoughts on that? And are considerations of housing density, you know, is that considered? Just, it's already a very, very crowded area. Logan Road is very tough now. It's tough to cross Logan Road on side streets. I've been here for a very long, long time, and I have seen a great deal of changes, as there will be in any town. But this seems to be less of a suburban type neighborhood, and seems to be heading more toward an urban congestion and density that it just doesn't. It isn't Ocean Township. You know, at least that's the way I look at it. And I think everything about infrastructure and all that has already been brought up. So, and I understand that you don't have that kind of information at this time. So, basically, I think those are my concerns.
Thank you, John. Just to answer that on the development plans and such, there are no plans there either. Again, I'm going to lob this one back over to Mary Beth.
So this site does have some preliminary plans from a developer, and I want to be clear that this site, the development plans are coming from an owner of the right along Route 35. And this is kind of the back of I just want to make sure that we're on the same page where this site is. It's literally the lots that are just behind all of the commercial properties fronting on the east side. Yes, the east side of northbound 35. So this is a shade under, as I said, shade under 6 acres. It is
And one other thing, Mary Beth, John
Please.
mentioned it was a potential dump at one time back in, way before any of our time. The municipality's dealing with our own piece of property on Cindy Lane, and I can assure you that if that's the case and there's any trace of that, whoever owns it, whoever decides to put in a proposal, they're going to have to break through EPA and DEP well before they even get to our level. I assure you that, because we're having a major problem on Cindy Lane right now.
Can that,
Mary Beth, sorry about that.
can I just say, can that be on record that there was a dump there? Because as a kid, I used to come here, and I remember
John, the only way it would be on, that's a question out of my hands. I would have to send that to the engineer for that one, or our professionals.
because that was a big issue for a long time back then.
Go ahead, Mary Beth.
I
You want to
want
finish?
people to be aware of it. I'd like it to be on record that that's, at least I'm aware of it. That that.
John, duly noted on that. Our
Okay.
manager's on here. He, Dave Brown, if you can note that with what John's saying, that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Are you, Mary Beth? Are you finished?
I was finished answering this gentleman's question.
Anybody else wishing to be heard? Please state
I
your
have
name.
questions.
Okay. Name and address for the record.
Sure, I don't have to give my address, but it's Alex Hayes Oakhurst. So kind of what I do generally, as you all know, since I come to meetings, is I just kind of rattle off my questions to save time, since you only give us 5 minutes. I just want to reiterate the frustration that others have said about a 3 p.m. meeting on a Thursday. This meeting was hardly publicized. It's horrible timing. I also had to take off for this. And I must say, while you do finally have the link to Zoom online, you don't have the phone numbers. Not everybody has access to Wi-Fi. I left my office, went in my car, and I still couldn't log in. I had no way to physically call in. Any Zoom meeting should have instructions on how anybody can call in with the password and the meeting ID number. So I feel like that was poor planning. There's also no chat, and I see no way to raise hands. Okay, so getting back to my questions. I asked the last board meeting, the two overlay zones, the Herbert Ave and the English Manor. Since your affordable housing plan discusses how many units per acre, I asked at that meeting a couple of weeks ago, how many units in total are we talking about? I still haven't heard back, so hopefully somebody can answer that today. So acreage and how many units total are possible for those two. I also wanted to express my disapproval of any type of apartments going just north of the middle school where the Honora location is. I understand that a prominent affordable housing builder is looking to redevelop that site, take those two buildings down and, you know, have a multi-level apartment structure. I don't think that intersection, the area by the middle school, can handle that type of traffic. Excuse me. I think it's imperative in all that you discuss that everybody knows the potential of units. You all say right now, English Manor, you know, it might not ever, you know, become units down the road. They just redid it. Gorgeous. Okay, that's great. But what if they decide to sell it? I think we all need to know, are we looking at 20 houses, 67 apartments, 127 apartments? I think that we're not being as transparent as we should be with taxpayers and residents. And speaking of residents that I think are absent from today, there is also an affordable housing part of one of the ordinances today that states current apartment complex owners can rehab units and then raise the rental fees. So if you're looking at Twinbrook, Middlebrook, the Continental Gardens, Wanamassa Gardens, I don't see any of, you know, folks represented by renters. And I don't think this entire concept that their rates and rental fees might go up if their complex owners decide to like renovate. So I think that is missing from the public discourse. Some of these are questions, some of these are statements. Two other questions. The town has a number of pilots, payment in lieu of taxes. For one thing, those pilot revenues do not affect the school district. And I have a huge problem with that because money for pilots should go to that. So I'm wondering, are we working on any new pilots in the next 2 years? And then how does the current budget proposed today take into effect current pilots? And also, the mayor has discussed in previous meetings, like a combo plan with the school board for the Cindy Lane property, although like is shrouded in mystery. So I'm wondering if there is any further developments on what kind of Cindy Lane area combo plan with the school board can be released today, and if that in fact is in any of the budget stuff. Thanks.
Thank you. Mary Beth.
Here we go. So I'm going to address I'm going to focus on the questions related to this ordinance, and I'll let the mayor or anyone else or address
Just the ordinance, Mary Beth. That's all. Thank you.
Yep. So the specific question for gross acreage of the Herbert Avenue site, the gross acreage is 5.66 acres. The highest density that could be, if that's multifamily flats, that's 15 to the acre. So that could generate approximately 84 total housing units. The English Manor site, again, 1.03 acres. That could generate approximately 15 total housing units. Both would have a 20% affordable housing set aside. You had asked a question about the rental. Well, actually, that was the ordinance that was just adopted. Had to do with the rental rehab. I don't think you really asked any other specific questions of either of these two sites.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Jesse,
Oh, yep.
okay.
I don't see anybody else's hand.
You're making the English Manor Place. I want it not on the.
Hold on a
I'm
second.
Paris Thurlow,
Name.
Dorset Court, and you still for 1 acre. You're sitting here saying you're going to have 15 family homes sitting in my backyard on wetlands. That's what you're saying, and that there's no way to stop this at this point because you've decided for the entire community here that we have to have this in our backyard.
Again,
is that what you're
there's
saying?
no,
You can say that all you want. Once you pass this variance, there is a possibility. I don't want that possibility for my neighbors who have small children, we are on a little cul-de-sac. I have an 80-year-old man, and I can't get to my house some days. And you want to put 15 more people here, families here? That's what you want to do?
Mary Beth, can you respond, please?
I would say our environmental constraints mapping, we don't show any wetlands on this site.
It's outside my window. There is a creek outside my window. It is wetlands. It is marshlands. I know it. I understand that you don't see it. I don't know where you live. I live here. It is wetlands.
Understood. Thank you. And the DEP requirements that are implemented by the township's planning board would require a full analysis of wetlands.
You're going to wait a developer, and then you're going to say, "Oh well, I'm sorry because we didn't do due diligence beforehand."
It's common to have.
I'm asking the question. You did not do your due diligence. You did not do your due diligence, and now you want to sit here and say, "Oh, we're going to pass this and allow 15 more units and have flooding, and then wonder why people are going to have problems."
I will just simply say we did the analysis of the environmental constraints, and any developer would have to address those environmental constraints as part of site plan approval.
Mayor,
So you're just going to whitewash it. Okay.
Wendy Groga, your affordable housing attorney. May I just add something to what Mary Beth just said there?
Sure.
There's been a lot of questions of folks who feel that perhaps there haven't been given an exact unit count on some of these overlays, and these types of issues that you're raising, ma'am, with potential wetlands, or if there is anything that is found to be an environmental constraint or some other constraint, if and when at the time that somebody comes in with a site plan, those are the reasons why we can't give you an exact number of the number of units, because if there are constraints, then obviously the building envelope gets smaller. But those constraints would need to be looked at, and the proper and appropriate time for that is at the planning board with a site plan application. When the township is tasked with having to do these overlays to meet these numbers that are provided through the affordable housing calculations, from the state all the way down to the local level, the state does not provide the opportunity, nor does the statutes give us the opportunity to say that that level of due diligence has to happen first. In fact, in this round 4 process, everything has been brought down to an even shorter time frame than any other point in history during the Mount Laurel Doctrine, because everything had to be started on January 1 of 2025 and ended by March 15th, which is actually March 16th because it lands on a Sunday, of 2026. So I understand your frustration. I feel your frustration. I feel for each one of my clients that I represent as an affordable housing attorney, because the onus that has been put on every governing body member and on each municipality to get through this process in order to protect the town from an even larger potential onlay of units based on a builder's remedy litigation if you don't go through the process is really tough. And I believe every member of the governing body shares your frustration, ma'am, but this is the game that we are forced to play in.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Jesse, monitor the hand raises, please.
I don't.
There we go. I see Kyle. Kyle Truesdale. Go ahead, Kyle. You're not muted. Go ahead. I can't hear you, Kyle. You want to check your settings on the Zoom?
I don't even see him.
He's up. I see him up on top. Kyle Truesdale, right? You can hear me? I can see your hand, but I can't hear you.
Maybe you can unmute.
I don't have him
Oh
muted.
no, he's muted. Okay, let's see if we can.
Now he's muted. Kyle, you're muted. Unmute. Wait, no. I think you might have a setting on your computer, possibly.
Maybe he can ask us to unmute him.
Kyle, can we come back to you if you can look for a setting on your or use the
Yes,
phone
yes.
number to call in?
It says ask to unmute.
I'm not the administrator.
No, I have no idea. Where's Tom?
Okay.
I don't think he's muted though.
He's not muted because he doesn't
I'll
have a
put
red.
from the website. I'll put from the website the full Zoom link, including the phone numbers. So
Okay. Anyone else before we, until we get to Kyle?
There's something on Kyle's computer. Tom just called, our IT guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you hold up? Can you call? That's what Gita was saying. Does he have the number to call?
I'm just looking for the comment.
Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go, Kyle.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Kyle.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is the owner of the English Manor.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I just have a couple of questions about what it means for English Manor's future. So we're C3 commercial use right now, and then we're going to have this affordable housing use. Does that be an additional use for us? So it'll be like a dual use in the future if we do want to develop the property. Will there be any limitations to us that we have to develop it with affordable housing? Or if we want to do something like commercial use, that would be fine. Or if we did want to put up residential, like individual houses in the future, would this have any limitations that would hold us back from doing so? Just the fact that we now have an overlay use for the affordable housing.
Anything else, Kyle?
No, that's it.
Thanks, man. Mary Beth.
Yep. So the to be clear, your C3 underlying zoning remains in place. So you don't have to develop this residentially. You can still have full access to the underlying C3 zone. The overlay is an additional option for development. The overlay zoning would not permit, C3 zoning does not permit residential. The overlay zone would not permit single-family detached residential. It permits single-family attached residential and multifamily residential. I think that answered your questions.
Don't do it,
Thanks,
Kyle.
man.
Don't do it.
We're not planning on nothing. Yes, it does. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kyle. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Can I just ask the one question that I asked before?
You at
About the 3 p.m. Meeting. Why was it called?
John, we had to get this meeting was originally going to be canceled, but as you was explained by our attorney, we had to have
Right.
this meeting before Sunday. This was the only day and time that we could do it.
I see. There are a lot of other people, though, that should be represented at these, that live in this area, that feel strongly about these kinds of things, that should be represented.
Duly noted.
Yes.
Seeing no more comments, do I have a motion to close public comment on the ordinance?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing at ordinance 2538. 2583?
2538.
2538. Sorry.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara? Is he still?
He is muted.
Ron?
No,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Kaplan?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Okay. Tallarico?
Yes.
And Napolitani?
Yes. Open it up for public comment.
No, a
on-
motion to public.
Oh, yeah,
adopt.
motion, do I have action on ordinance 2538?
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2538 and publish according to law.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
No.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Tallarico?
No.
And Napolitani?
Yes. Additional comments, public comments in regard to Ocean Township, anything germane to the Township of Ocean? Please state your name and address for the record.
Is this the one on the fees and the apartment rehabs? I don't go by numbers because I don't have that in front of me.
Well, we had public comment on that before, but you have questions on
What is the topic of this ordinance, since
Or
I'm
general.
calling from a office
it's
building?
general comments right now.
Oh, general comments. Can you guys answer any of my questions? I didn't realize that I was in the ordinance public comment, so I apologize earlier.
Okay, you want to go get them on out again?
I'll go really quickly. How have you engaged the apartment residents? It's my understanding that for, the Herbert and the English Manor, that maybe some people got some letters about what's happening today, but I'm curious how residents, the thousands of residents of our various apartments in town, have been made aware that, their rents could go up and there could be some rehabbing of their, so that's one. And then I had a question about the budget. Are you working on additional pilots? And what are the pilot financial implications of the budget now? And then can you shed any more light on the combo deal or whatever it is that's kind of been worked on and hush hush for so long, for many months about, are you guys working with the Board of Ed on some kind of shared service place? Or Mayor, you mentioned it once, and I believe you said it was the Cindy Lane property. So I think that's it. That's it.
Okay. First question with the apartments and engaging them. Dave Brown, if we can get a connection with those individual apartments, I know we have half of Continental contact, the other half we have to locate. We have a Middlebrook contact, we need a West Park Manor contact, and we need a one in Massa Gardens contact.
Not
Dave,
for the owners, for the residents.
well, we need a contact so we can get to the residents. So
you
if
can't
we
just
have
send a blanket letter to all residents. We know what apartment numbers everybody's at.
Dave, we can work on that, right?
Yes, Mayor, we'll take care of that.
Thank you.
it's
As
too
for
late
the
now.
pilots, that would be a Ricky Gartz question. So I would suggest that you contact the office tomorrow when Ricky's in. Pilot revenue, I believe, anticipated is $136,000 as per our CFO. But if you'd like further clarification, I would contact him. and a combo deal with the Board of Ed. We would love to do something in conjunction with the Board of Ed. Unfortunately, we do not have any approvals on Cindy Lane currently right now due to the fact that we're trying to get it delineated by the DEP right now.
DEP.
Yes.
Okay, but so my follow-up would be, so we're discussing the annual budget and the town CFO is not present?
We are not discussing the budget. The budget will be discussed at the next meeting. This was the introduction of the budget.
April 9th meeting.
April 9th meeting.
So he doesn't feel it's necessary to come for the introduction to the
when
budget?
there really is no budgetary questions until the budget's actually going to be adopted on April 9th.
Okay.
Yep. Anyone else wishing to be heard, please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, Dan Coco, 29 Dorset Road again. I don't see Councilwoman Grace Ann on the call still, but I would just like to acknowledge my appreciation.
She's still
She's on.
here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, she's still on. Well, thank you for being the only council member to not just blindly pass these motions through and seeming to consider all logical concern and use your brain to understand what's being raised during these meetings. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan. With all due respect, just so you know, Councilman Acera also voted no on that. And we are not operating blindly. We have several professionals that guide us, including engineers, attorneys, and affordable housing professionals. So nobody's doing anything blindly. Thank you.
I believe it was stated
Anyone
during
else
this
wishing to be heard?
initial. No, I believe it was stated that you don't consult the professionals yet. This is just the first step, and then later they develop.
This ordinance was consulted with the professionals. That's why it's on the agenda tonight.
Do you have the names of those professionals?
I just said you were just answering. One of them was Mary Beth Lonigan. She's on here.
Okay. Were there any
Anyone else? Any other questions? State your name and address for the record.
Since this is a videotaped proceeding, will this be linked publicly?
Jesse? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Seeing no other questions, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Opposed?
meeting adjourned.
Opposed?
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Not voting.